9.2, I can use theoretical and experimental probability. So first we need to talk about the definition. So theoretical probability, we're going to do that one first. Theoretical probability is what should happen when conducting a probability experiment. So theoretical probability is what should happen when conducting a probability experiment. Experimental probability is what actually happens. So experimental is what actually happens. So if we talk about an example, so theoretical probability is what should happen, experimental probability is what actually happens. So let's say we are flipping a coin. We have two different probabilities here. Let's say we're going to flip a coin 10 times. So let's call this example 1. We're going to flip a coin 10 times. And let's say we made it heads and tails, and let's say we got heads 4 times and tails 6 times. So let's say I did this experiment, I got heads 4 times and tails 6 times. So the theoretical probability for this is what should have happened. This should be an L. The theoretical probability is what should have happened. I should have gotten heads. So the theoretical probability of it getting heads should have been 5 out of 10, which simplifies to 1/2, or 50%. The experimental probability did not actually happen when I flipped the coin. When I flipped the coin, the experimental probability of flipping heads wasn't 5 out of 10. I only got heads 4 out of 10 times, which I can simplify to 2/5. So what should happen and what actually happened in an experiment are not always the same thing. Let's say we do the same thing with a dice. So let's say I should call it a number cube. So rolling a number cube. Let's say I roll it 20 times. And when I rolled it, I got a 1 3 times, a 2 4 times, a 3 1 time, a 4, sorry you can't see that, a 4 2 times, a 5 6 times, and a 6 4 times. So we have two probabilities we could talk about. The theoretical probability is I should have gotten, let's say the theoretical probability of landing on 4 should have happened 1/6 of the time, right? It should have been 1/6. I actually got a 4. Not 1 out of 6 times. So for the answer to this video, what you're going to submit is the experimental probability of getting a 4 when we rolled the die. And again, we'll talk about this again in class tomorrow, but we just need to understand the difference between theoretical probability, what should happen, and experimental probability, what actually happens, and then we'll conduct some experiments in class. So you're entering in the experimental probability from this experiment of the die or number cube landing on a 4.